In today's video, I'll be explaining every counter in the Strongest Battlegrounds to find out which one is the best. We'll be trying to figure out how it works and if it's similar to the anime. Also, the Mafia and I are on a journey to 100k subscribers before the end of the year, so if you didn't, then please feel free to subscribe. The first one is death counter for the strongest hero. If one is caught by this attack, it is a guaranteed death. The user activates a counter that has a window of 10 seconds. This does not have any indicator that it was activated to other people other than health regeneration. If the player is attacked by someone, they will teleport behind the person that they countered with their body dimmed, their eyes glowing, and their fists raised up. Then the screen will display the Japanese kanji for death, hence the name. Next, it shows a fist wearing a red glove and white glowing eyes behind, as the fist continuously gets closer to the screen with wind particle effects, finally punching the opponent, instantly killing them, sending them flying in pieces and creating a large AoE punch similar to Serious Punch. As you can see, this is an exact copy of Genos and Saitama's sparring match, where Genos asked him to take it seriously. After Saitama heard that, he decided to show his disciple what serious really is and almost killed him before stopping the attack at the last second. This may not have landed unlike the game, but it did leave a giant hole on the side of a mountain. The second counter is Spiraling Storm for KJ. Obviously KJ was a limited character, but he could still be used in private servers. When using this move, the player takes a fighting stance. If the player is hit during the time frame, the player will dodge the attack before striking the opponent 2 times in the chest and grabbing them, rapidly spinning around and then throwing them away. This comes from this scene in KJ's final ride, where he gets into a stalemate punch with whoever this guy is, then grabs his wrist with his other hand to start throwing him away just like you do in game. The third counter is Infinity from Sorcerer. If Infinity is enabled, the user's M1s become much stronger, increasing their damage from 14 to 116%, as well as causing a black flash on the final hit. Additionally, anyone nearby the user is slowed down, heavily producing a sound and cannot hurt the user. Now, I'm not sure if this would really be considered a counter, but it comes from Satoru Gojo's curse technique called Limitless. Being the neutral form of the Limitless, the Infinity is commonly known as the ability to stop, although this is a common misconception, as the true power of Infinity is to slow things down. Infinite amounts of finite space separates everything, such as how the real number 1 will never touch the real number 2 due to the infinite amount of fractions that separate them, meaning his opponents will never touch Satoru due to the infinity between them, just like the end game. The fourth counter is for Praise Peril for the Hero Hunter. The user immediately crouches while entering an open fighting stance. Upon being hit with the counterable move, the player does a series of punches before pushing the opponent away with both hands. This is taken from Garo's standoff against the AA class heroes, more specifically from the moment when Stinger tried to land this garbage attack on Goro until he counters him just like the in-game attack. The fifth one is Death Blow from Brutal Demon. The user raises up their metal bat into a defensive position. Upon being hit, the user shoves the opponent back before turning around and slamming the metal bat's tip into the opponent's stomach. The opponent backs away looking down, reeling from the pain, and then proceeds to panic, looking right and left frantically before turning around and seeing the user with red eyes and a metal bat behind them as the world goes dark. The user, with all their might, presses hard against them as the opponent tries to push away the bat to no avail and gets crushed leg first on the ground. This is very similar to when Metal Bat faced off against Garo, but unlike the game, he does not go through with the attack due to his little sister showing up and distracting him. Also, if this is not landed, you will instead get the miss variant, which is just a slam attack. And finally, the last counter is Split Second Counter for Blade Master. The user immediately raises their sword in a defensive position. Upon getting hit, the user instantly dashes behind the opponent before sheathing the katana shortly afterwards, damaging the opponent. I believe this is inspired by Rengoku's use of the Flame Breathing's first form. He used this on the train against a low-level demon to blitz past him. The only difference is the aura farming that you do in game, where you sheath your sword and then get extra damage, because he doesn't do that in the show. Now let me grade how similar each counter is to their anime counterpart. Death counter is a 1-for-1, man. That's gotta be an A at least. In fact, I'm gonna give it an A+. And for Spiraling Storm, it is very similar to the KJ video, but just not a 1-for-1 as much as the previous. So I'm gonna have to give it like a B. Then comes Infinity, and I don't even know if that's considered a counter. I mean, it's pretty similar to Gojo and the anime, but I'm gonna give it like a a C. Praise Peril looks just like what he did to Stinger. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to get out another A. And then we got Death Blow. Death Blow might have to be a C. It's very dramatized. It's inspired by that moment, but very dramatized. And then again, split second counter. I think I'm gonna have to give it like a C plus, maybe a B minus. B minus. But what's your favorite counter in the game? If you're new here, then consider subscribing because we are on a mission to hit 100K and we're getting pretty close. But if you like these type of videos and you want to learn more about how the game compares to the anime, then click this playlist right here where I break down a lot of TSB stuff. Millz Mafia out. Yeah.